Leeds. What is happening? Welcome to Series 6 of Working Hours, an oral history podcast about a place called Leeds, a time called now, and an activity called work. Working Hours aims to record 200 loiners, that's people from Leeds, over the first half of the most important decade in the history of the human species, and ask them about what they do all day and hear how they feel about it. My name is Simon, and this is all my fault. My mission here is to try to map out what my city, Leeds, a city that has declared a climate emergency, did during humanity's biggest emergency. On Working Hours, we hear how loiners have, are, and will be coping with our multiple and expanding crises during their day-to-day working hours. To tell this story, I need loiners like you, dear listener. I need people in Leeds or people from Leeds to come on this podcast and tell me about what they do all day and let me record how this decade affects us. Thank you for listening to this episode. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I changed my mind a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a vegetarian caterer at one point. I have no idea why, because, well, I'm not a bad cook, but I don't ever want to be a caterer.
So
I was a vegetarian, I think maybe for like a month at that time. I was like 10 years old. But most of my life I wanted to write a book.
Right.
Or I wanted to be a film director. Oh. So sort of like creative, I was arty, like reading, like writing, all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
So that's why I did a broadcast journalism degree. I had these kind of ideas that I'd be like traveling the world. Sex and the City was big at that time, so I kind of imagined myself like that. But I didn't realise that broadcast journalism was mainly about news, which I wasn't very up to speed with.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really ever a big...
It's not that creative either, is it?
No. And I don't know why I did that course. I think it's
was it at Leeds?
At Leeds Uni.
But that was the only really sort of TV, filmy thing they had at the time,
Yeah, there was only 2 courses in the country, one at Nottingham Trent, one at Leeds Uni.
Yeah.
And Judith Stamper, who used to present a lot North, she was our tutor. So my mum was like, oh, you need to do this course. Judith Stamper's the tutor. And at that time, I was like, okay, you're 18. How are you possibly able to
you don't know anything
make a life decision at that point? And it was such a vocational course that, you know, I actually wanted to do English, but because my, what's the UCAS form, is it?
Yeah.
And because I'd applied for broadcast journalism and then also English, so they were like, you know, make up your mind, we don't want you to do an English course. So it was either broadcast journalism or art foundation course. And I was just like, I want to be like on Sex and the City, do this broadcast journalism course. And I was kind of out of my depth for 3 years. Got a 2-1, no idea how. No idea. The whole entire way through the course, I was like, I want to change to art history. I never did. But I was kind of just winging it. So after that, I never really did any writing or anything, and just kind of came to work here. So, but it's a big kind of about 2 years in between that, when not 2 years, maybe a year, where I did lots of work experience to try to get into the industry. Yeah. But
did you stay up north?
I did. Yeah, I stayed up north because, you know, after uni, went back to live with my parents, so I could work for free. Yeah. And I'd worked on Crime Watch. I did some work experience there, which was great. Yeah. But with jobs like that, they've got their influx of interns that they just keep, you know, churning them out. They don't need to really hire anybody. And how you would get a job at the BBC would be, you would be an intern for like a year in London. I can't work for free for a year. Yeah. Or you would know someone, like nepotism, and they would get you a job there. So it was quite disheartening to sort of not be able to get anywhere without doing work experience. There was no paid jobs.
You need the connections,
and it was super competitive. And I didn't really love it 100%. It wasn't my I didn't, I had no passion for it. And I think that probably came across when they were hiring people or going for interviews.
Did you want to stay behind the camera as well? Did you ever think about going in front?
Yeah, I just probably didn't have the confidence to do it at that point. I kind of wanted to make documentaries.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. And I did some work experience with a band. We went on tour with this band.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it was. I've had the best experiences doing all of these things, and it was great. Only around the UK, with like in Hull and.
Still though, it's interesting just being on the road.
Nowhere glamorous, but it was a really good experience. Yeah. And I loved doing that, but it was just work experience.
Yeah.
And if I'd have been really good at it, I probably would have just. And if it was this day and age, I could do it myself. Produce those things. Anyone can do it on YouTube. You don't have to have a massive production company.
Yeah.
But those resources weren't there at that time.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I just kind of took a step back, and then I was going to go abroad and teach English abroad, and then my dad died, and then I came to work here. To cut a long story short.
Well, I mean, just going back to that sort of time and the available, sort of the tech that was available at the time. I mean, I think we're fairly contemporaneous, and me and my friends were kind of trying to invent YouTube. So we were making stuff on digital video, and then we were trying to put it online, and I was quite involved with people who were working at. Do you remember FreeServe? The free internet company, the really early one? And they were based sort of down the road on North Street, and my partner at the time worked there, and there's some other people around. And we were trying to do all of that and have a website and get all that going. It never took off, but unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was not really very good at the technical side of thing either. So when we had to edit at uni for Adobe video or whatever, my head would just go. I was more good at talking to people or researching, or I like the human stories behind things more than sitting and editing anything. So there wasn't. It kind of died its death then, really.
You're listening to Series 6, Episode 31, and to my guest, Jessica Spencer. This is another in-person recorded in Aladdin's Cave in the Queens Arcade, recorded on the 11th of September 2025. Hello, colleague. Jessica Spencer runs Aladdin's Cave Jewellery, a third-generation family-run business in Queens Arcade Leeds, alongside her mum, Roberta. The shop has been in the same location for over 45 years. From being a little girl, Jessica always loved treasure hunting. She's always loved the stories that antique and vintage jewellery pieces carry, the idea that someone wore and cherished each piece long before it reached their shop. That's why Aladdin's Cave focus on sourcing unusual, one-of-a-kind treasures for people who want something with meaning, not just another mass-produced trinket. The shop itself is crammed full, every corner bursting with curiosities and a window display packed to the brim. It really does feel like stepping into a treasure trove. From Art Deco engagement rings to Victorian mourning jewellery, and even quirky little finds like silver napkin rings, their collection is a celebration of history, beauty and craftsmanship. Run in its early days by Jessica's grandpa and auntie before her parents took it over in the late 1990s. Sadly, however, Jessica's father died in 2003, which is when Jess stepped in and started her antique jewellery journey. She had just finished a broadcast journalism degree at Leeds Uni and was still trying to make it in the highly competitive TV industry. Jessica says, "I always thought I would go back to it, but over 20 years later, I'm still here and love my job now way more than I did in my 20s and 30s. For a long time, Jessica worked in the shop itself, but after maternity leave and having 2 kids, it made much more sense for her to work from home and concentrate on the website, marketing, and everything needed behind the scenes. Her favourite part of the job, though, is still sourcing beautiful antique jewellery at auctions and fairs, from everyday jumble sales and car boots up to the more prestigious end of art and jewellery fairs. Jewellery really is in Jessica's blood. Right, let's do this. Episode 186 of Working Hours with Jessica Spencer. So what are you doing now then?
So now I am one half of Aladdin's Cave Jewellery that I run with my mum. And I started working here just so in 2003 when my dad died. I was kind of at a loose end of like, I'm going to go abroad, teach English. And so when he died, I was really the only available person to come and work here. And I never really thought it was going to be my life's work. And so I started here kind of reluctantly, kind of deflated that I wasn't doing what I wanted to do. But we kind of all pulled together as a family. And it was really sort of a way of kind of dealing with the grief of my dad dying as well.
So you've emailed me some information beforehand, so it was a sudden death.
He had a heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which it's like a hereditary disease.
Okay.
And so I could have had it 50-50 chance of having it, which I don't have it, thank God. But when they say when you get over the age of 55, well, he was 55, when you get over the age of 50, it's like 1 in a million chance of dying.
Right.
So he actually had an altercation with a customer in the shop I'd actually been in the shop because I was doing the odd day here and there, and I'd been in the shop and this guy and while I was there, he'd bought this silver bracelet. And then he came in and he said, I don't want it anymore, can I get a refund? And we don't do refunds. We do refunds online, but we don't do refunds in the shop. We just do exchanges, credit note, whatever.
Yeah.
And so then he came back again, had broken it to try to get a refund.
Yeah.
So my dad had an argument with him, or was getting obviously fired up and had a heart attack in the shop. Yeah, and the guy sort of did a runner, and somebody, I think, tried to give him CPR, but it was too late, and he was on a life support.
Was he just working on his own?
He was with my mum. Yeah. And I think she was obviously panicked or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was on a life support machine for 2 days. It's a long time ago now, but obviously, can still remember it really vividly.
That's sudden.
Totally sudden.
Shock.
Totally sudden.
Yeah.
He was 55. I mean, that's not it's no age.
I'm not far off that.
It's crazy, isn't it? He wasn't the healthiest person. He smoked and drank and whatever else, but
still too young.
Still too young.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then I came to work here off the back of that.
So, the next question is how did you get into it? But I think maybe with the how you got into it, because we've kind of covered that.
Yeah.
What was take us through the sort of process of coming in. Was that sort of, was it something you ever saw yourself doing?
No.
Was it just, I'm going to end up in the shop eventually? Or
No, it was not that I'm going to end up in the shop eventually. I was like, no, not this. I don't want to
do that, yeah.
Totally. This is just a stopgap for me. And I kind of beat myself up about it now, because I think if I'd have spent that time, obviously there wasn't social media and everything around them, if I'd have spent that time learning more about the trade, learning more about antique jewellery, instead of sat on my computer learning about anything else, or sitting there reading, or I was into all sorts of things. I did a yoga teacher training course, and because I was filling the time of being in the shop when it was quiet, and I should have really been learning more about antique jewellery. And then I actually left to go to be an estate agent.
All right.
Because I wanted to wear a suit and I wanted to have after work drinks on a Friday. And that sort of corporate lifestyle, which isn't me at all.
Well, you kind of live in the light. Like, I remember, do you remember when Lily White's was there?
Yeah.
So I was working at the Odeon when that was still there.
Yeah, I remember the Odeon.
And we'd go to, me and some of the people that I worked with at the Odeon, we'd go to Lily White's and have coffee there, and I was writing screenplays and stuff.
Oh,
and
wow.
I was like, but I wanted to live that life. I wanted to live the life of sitting in a coffee shop and having a laptop.
That's exactly why I did broadcast.
Yeah, and it's like, it's something that I got from TV and
from
film.
TV.
And but
exactly.
you had, I don't think it's the same now, but there was this overwhelming options, of so many things that you could be or do.
Totally, yeah.
And it's like you're being pulled in so many different directions, and you're kind of like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, and you're such a young age to have all of those options presented to you, just like, it's just feel flummoxed by it, to be honest. So I left to be an estate agent. I was in 2005. So I'd been here for 2 years. And I absolutely hated it. And I think I lasted for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I cried every day. I was based at City Island before it was developed. And I was in a tiny room. This is before smartphones and before it was like the done thing to have a laptop. I mean, you wouldn't even think an office wouldn't have a laptop now, but there was nothing. I was sat there looking at 4 walls, waiting for people to come in, and nobody came in. I was just out of my mind, bored, and the people were horrible that I worked for. I won't name who the estate agent was. And it was just a bit of a toxic environment. And then so I left, and me and my best friend went travelling to America for 3 months. And then when I came back, I went back to work here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, you've been here a while now since then.
Yeah, and a lot has changed in the way that I see my job now.
Yeah.
And I've really grown into the role. I've obviously matured, and I've really, love antique jewellery. I love it. Maybe because I don't work in the shop every day. But so I worked in the shop up until I had my first child. And then I went on quite a long maternity leave, came back, and then it was COVID. And that's when I really started to work on the website.
Yeah.
Made an Etsy shop, got more into Instagram, which was still not massive at that time.
Yeah.
And just like that, I kind of found my feet with that. Then came back to work in the shop, and then had my second child, and then never came back because I had so much to work on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the website, I'm taking photos, listing things, doing all the back end of the website, all the marketing, social marketing, which is like a whole job in itself. And much prefer it that way. I don't know whether it's because I'm not customer facing. Sometimes I do come to work, if I'm filling in for somebody that's away. And I'm sure at one point, my mum is she is retirement age, and she'd like to fully retire. And I probably will come back to work part-time in the shop. But there's so much to keep me busy at home with everything behind the scenes, and source the jewellery, do the auctions, go to fairs. And I don't even have enough time to do all of that stuff, really. But I love it, and I never stop working. Any 5 minutes that I have, I'm doing something much to my partner's dislike. I'm like, you're still working, it's a Saturday. It's like, I work for myself.
Yeah.
This is when I work.
Yeah.
Especially if there's
Don't
summer
have days
holidays.
off and holidays because it costs money.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm constantly having to post on social media and but I love it. I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy when I get new stock in, and say I do an auction and it comes through the post, and that is to me like amazing, like a dream, like looking at all the jewellery, and I love it.
So I'm going to change this up a bit. I'm going to do the social media question next,
Yeah.
because I think we'll probably spend most time on this. So what I'm normally asking about on the social media side is how much time you have to spend on it, and whether you think that time is well spent. Do you get what you want out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it can be really rewarding, and it can be really frustrating. If you have a post that, I never really spend that long making a post. I tie it in with, say I make a video of a ring, I'll use that ring, I'll put that video on YouTube, and then embed it into my website listing. So it's kind of, it's not a waste of my time just to put it on Instagram. If you get sort of 10,000 plus views, then it's really hard to quantify it, because you can get loads of views, and the narcissistic person in me goes, oh, amazing, I love this.
Yeah, but it's not about views,
It's
is it?
not
It's
about views.
driving sales.
And you could get 100,000 views and not sell the thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really mean anything. And it is just a kind of validating
Yeah.
response, really.
Yeah.
But you keep at it and keep hammering away at it, because a lot of sales do come from Instagram.
Yeah.
Or people, a lot
You're
of
just
people.
reminding people, aren't you? You're like,
You have
we
to
exist,
be
we exist.
and you
Remember
have to.
us. Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And the landscape of it's changed so much over the time that I've been doing it, from static images to now obviously reels. I still like doing static images and the carousel. And what I don't enjoy doing is, it's like the trends of, oh, you have to now make it shareable content. So you have to put, do you know this ring holds a secret or something? And it's just nonsense. Like, so, and then you see so many people do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, and it to obviously.
You see it on Instagram, don't you? You'll see one, like, I see it with most of the stuff I follow is Leeds based, and you'll see one shop or one hospitality venue do a particular video, and then you'll see another one do the same video like 3 minutes later.
And I think they try to do that for engagement, but it really just, I don't know, I just find it a bit cringy. Like, there was one that said, oh, an influencer's charged me £4,000, so I'm going to sit outside my shop. And I actually found that funny the first time I saw it. And then after 10, you're just like, I don't know.
Come up with something else.
And also it just seems like everybody's just jumping on the same bandwagon and trying, really like screaming, look at my Instagram, please. When, like, why not just make it about opening a ring box and looking at the ring? Like, I don't want to have it all like...
That would be my immediate thought, is like loads of unboxing, loads of like actually your knowledge, you know, going like, this ring, it means this, it comes from here, you know, like the sort of educational stuff.
And I try and do that, and I did, it's kind of, as I said, it's like, it changes, the algorithm changes, the rings, the content was getting most engagement of like opening a ring, blah, 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 was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, wasn't showing to anybody.
Yeah.
I've listened to podcasts about like, you know, their tips on Instagram. And they suggested doing all this ring is like the hook or whatever it's called, you know, this ring holds a secret, or just really, and I just think people are kind of sick of that now.
I think as well though, like it's because if you think of anyone within the media now, it's not changing to follow the trend. It's being consistent. It's like having one message and kind of hammering that. That's what I feel. It's more.
Yeah.
Are you on YouTube as well?
Only on YouTube for posting the videos that go onto my listings.
Yeah.
See, in an ideal world, I'd make like really good YouTube videos about really educational things to do with antique jewellery. And I think I'll be quite good at that, but I just don't have the time and technical ability, to be honest. And I all like adding the B-roll and things like that. I mean, in my head, I can make a really good YouTube video. But then when it comes to actually editing and setting it all out, I'm like, you know, I just my eyes glaze over and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think maybe I have like ADHD. I know everyone says they have ADHD, but when I'm looking at something like technical and just...
Yeah, your brain's just...
brain disconnect. No, I can't do that. No. Sorry.
I'm not going to do it, not interested.
So, but in my head, I'd make really good YouTube videos. But no, it's a bleak world of social media, because you just see nonsense.
Yeah.
That has so much engagement, and I think you have to really stick to your ethos about it, and not be bullied into making these videos just because you think they're going to get you a lot of views. Because as I said before, a lot of views doesn't even equal a lot of sales.
Yeah.
And the more sales that I've done from Instagram are from the static carousel images, which go to my follower base.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, once you get over like 20,000 views, you get all the annoying trolls. I think they might be from Facebook, but like, oh, someone said about my nails, can you show us without the claws, please? Or just things like, your hand's really shaky. It's not massive, they're not really bad trolls.
It's just like bad faith comments, isn't it? It's like people just insulting you in the street.
Totally,
it's kind of like,
but they think because they're behind a computer and nobody can see them. I mean, some people.
Well, and also because you're in public, they're kind of like, right, well, you're fair game.
Totally.
Yeah. And it's like.
But now you just think, oh, God, if you look at the people that write these things, but who could be bothered? They must have really sad lives to just sit there and write something about my nails.
Well, the other thing is, thank you for your comment and driving engagement.
Yeah, driving engagement.
Like, thanks.
Exactly, exactly. So it's a double-edged sword, really. It's a necessity at the end of the day, and I do enjoy it. And when I made that, I did that the carousel post about the shop that you saw, and it was a vulnerable post, and I didn't imagine it to get so much traction. But it was so lovely to read the nice comments about the shop and things like that. But it takes a vulnerable post to get the traction, which is kind of a bit sad, really.
Yeah.
But that's what people want, is the real stories behind it.
Yeah, because everyone's sick of seeing that kind of
salesy thing.
Yeah, the promotion and people sort of like saying how, how we're so good.
Yeah.
I think so. I've had people, the LinkedIn experts that are kind of like, don't share stuff, just comment on stuff. And it's like, that might work for you at such and such a scale, but I'm not in that region.
Yeah.
And by sharing nonsense on LinkedIn, it drives engagement for me. I pick up.
Is that, I don't do LinkedIn, so I don't really know how it works. Is it more like B2B?
It kind of is. It's got a bit more, it's sort of picked up post or during COVID and post-COVID. It's like you talk to a lot of people who are kind of, oh yeah, I got a LinkedIn, 20 years ago, 10 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I've not really looked at it or touched it or might have applied for a job on it. But there's a lot more activity on there now. And yeah, it is mainly B2B, but there is a lot of kind of networking and the social sort of, and it is that putting you in places and in front of people. I
can imagine it really works for some people. Yeah, I mean, I can barely do TikTok. I feel TikTok is...
I'm not on it. It's overwhelming. It's
really overwhelming. Yeah. Instagram is my thing. I understand it. I've been doing it a long time. TikTok, I've tried, and I try, I post kind of reluctantly, post videos on there. Some of them do all right, but I don't understand the mechanics of it and how it works. Is it to camera?
Not
really.
Stuff
I haven't really done face stuff, and I think that's probably better.
That's what TikTok wants. Yeah.
But still, I don't know. It just makes me. So for example, with Instagram, I enjoy Instagram, I would say. But with TikTok, there's a barrier. Every time that I go to post on it, I don't know, I just feel like it's not my safe ground. Yeah. With Instagram, I'm like, okay, I know this. Yeah. I'm going to put a reel out, and I know how it works. And then, I've got a jewellery community on there. And TikTok, it's like there's no man's land that I'm kind of a bit aware of. I think I'm probably just too old for it, to be honest. No. No, I mean, I know people who have started on TikTok, and yeah, they are. It is more talking to the camera, and it scales fast. Really? And it does sort of. Yeah, I'm in an hour in about it, but like I know people who've managed to drive up quite a lot of engagement quite quickly from it. And I think it's just that it needs to get used to you and what you're doing and sort of understand it, and then it goes right. All of these people, I'm going to put it to all of them. I mean, maybe I should try it. It's just, again, finding the time to do everything. Yeah. Where I've sort of just settled in on Instagram. But I think it's a younger audience. They're the future of buying, consumerism. So it is an audience that I also need to tap into, and I realise that. So I will try better at TikTok. But it's not that. I mean, if you know what's working for you and it is working for you. I mean, it could work better. Yeah. As you were saying before, it's like, oh, why aren't I like these brands that have got loads of engagement, but I'm also better than the ones below, Yeah. So at least I'm getting engagement. Yeah. But I've been working hard at it for a long time, so if I wasn't, then I'd be doing something wrong. Yeah, and I've said this a lot as well of when I've talked about social media on the interviews, that when you read all the stuff at the beginning, they're telling you what the platforms, do you know what I mean? It's like,
give us free, work for us for free.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not what I want. I don't necessarily want to drive likes. I want to drive sales.
I know.
I want to reach, and it's not about quantity. It's about the quality of the people that see it. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
I want it to go to people who are like, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to get an engagement ring and I want an antique one.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want something brand new. I want something with a bit of history to it. Or I want a nice new piece of jewellery that's, you know, just something a bit different.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to sort of hammer to people. Like, you don't want mass-produced stuff. You want sustainable jewellery. Taylor Swift's chosen an antique engagement ring, so that's kind of good for us, really.
Yeah.
So I jumped on the back of that. I was like, well, if it's good enough for Taylor with like old cut diamond rings. But and it does drive, it's, as I said before, it's kind of hard to quantify it because yes, people do buy stuff from the website, but a lot of people come into the shop and say, I've seen this on Instagram. Obviously, I can't put a figure on that, but at least it is working to some extent.
Yeah.
You know, my mum always says, oh, they saw it on Instagram and, you know, whatever else.
Yeah. And it is, like you say, because if I don't post something, even if I just post something that's rubbish, it's like I'll see a drop off in listeners.
Yeah.
And then you post something and people remember you. So even if, you know, it can be a rubbish post that they see, but because they've seen another good post before, they're like, oh yeah, that,
Yeah.
and then they remember.
Exactly, you've got to constantly be reminding people. But some things I've posted and thought, oh, no one's going to buy that. And somebody does. You just never know. What you think might be, you know, nonsense, somebody might... Not that I think that about any of my jewellery, but you think it's quite niche, should I say.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's somebody for everything.
Well, I don't know if it's the same in sort of the area that you've been working in, but for podcasts, they're always saying niche down. And I think that's one of the problems of this is I've kind of niched, but Leeds isn't really a niche. Leeds is a metropolis with so many different people wanting different things.
Yeah.
And, you know, work is not really a niche. It's like a really broad general topic. So I've failed at niching.
Well...
But is that a thing that you need to do as well? Is it about...
I think we have a niche being like antique jewellery. I don't think there's another, in Leeds, there's not really another antique jewellers. However, I want to sort of be more broader than that.
Yeah.
Our niche is probably Art Deco rings. And that's what we buy more of, we sell of, but, you know, other things as well. But that's kind of our niche. Art Deco engagement rings, Art Deco diamond rings.
See, I'm thinking, so that makes me think, well, you could do you could put like black and white filters on and have the grainy stuff and pretend it's like 1920s.
Yeah,
sort of
so ChatGPT actually gave me that idea.
Yeah.
Of doing like a summer, what was it? Summer of, I didn't do it because I just was like, that seems like a lot of...
It's just like ragtime music and
Yeah. That's the director in you, the creative in you, things like that. Whereas I'm like, just ask ChatGPT, which is going to be the death of all of our creativity when we start just relying on that.
Let's just outsource all our thinking to a machine.
Now I'm like asking it anything that, like a simple thing, how do you spell with? Because I've got no brain capacity anymore because it has killed all my brain cell. But, you know, I'm in for the long haul now with it. So, yeah. It's a blessing and a curse.
What was the other thing that I was going to say on this? So we've done sort of niching. I mean, we kind of mentioned influencers. Oh, this was the thing. So the family business aspect.
Yeah.
Do you accentuate that? Because I think there's a growing market for that kind of, you know, the tradition and the...
Totally.
Yeah.
Like independent businesses, especially family businesses, real people behind... a business. People
we're not
don't
owned by a giant conglomerate. Yeah.
Exactly. No one likes that anymore.
Yeah.
It really is shifting towards where you can see the people behind the brand. So it's always been in my family. My Debbie, who's upstairs, my auntie, opened it with my grandpa in early 1980s. Then my grandma and grandpa, who both now sadly died. My grandma only last year at 96. She wasn't in the shop all the time. And then my parents took it over in the late 90s. So, and then obviously now me and my mum. And I'm not sure that my daughters, they both love jewellery already, and they're only 9 and 4. And my eldest is like, I want to work in the shop. I'm like, yeah, I think you should be a lawyer. I mean, by that time, there are probably going to be no jobs left for anybody anyway, because it's all just going to be robots. But, in an ideal
Robots
world.
don't buy things, though.
Yeah, but robots can be, no one's going to have any money to buy things because nobody's going to have any jobs. I know it's a bleak way of looking at the world, but also kind of what I believe. So yeah, we try until we can't.
Well, that's
anymore.
that part of that's being online too much as well, isn't it? Of just like you just relentlessly hit with stuff of like, oh God.
I don't really doom scroll, but my partner sits in bed on Twitter. He's obsessed with Twitter. First thing in the morning, doom scrolling through Twitter. Oh, did you hear this? I'm like, please don't. I don't need to. I have to have my boundaries.
Yeah.
Don't tell me all this negativity first thing in the morning, please. I can't handle it.
I remember when news used to be half an hour on the TV, and then occasionally you get a breaking news sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Exactly.
And now they put it in the bank, they put it on the screen. It's like,
everything.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, I can't, that's what I mean. When I did my broadcast journalism course, I was like, what's news? I don't even watch news. I have a working knowledge of what goes on, but I just think, I know I'm not ignorant. I do know what's going on, but I don't need to know every single story. There was at one point where I was getting bulletin things on my phone about, I think the algorithm must have just been picking up all sorts of horrible stuff, like paedophiles and things like that. And I was just like, I don't need this. I really don't need this. So I took that off my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah?
You want to make that gentleman a drink? Or...
I'm just doing the interview, Mum.
Oh, sorry, do I interrupt you?
Yeah.
That's fine.
But I can make you a drink if you want one.
No, I'm all right at the moment, thank you.
Yeah, so I don't need to be reminded of that at all.
Well, and it's also, what am I going to do about it?
Exactly. There's nothing. You feel like helpless, don't you?
Yeah.
So it's not like you can do anything to change anything, and it's just, I don't know. I think we're all doomed. I'm a positive person, but also quite cynical, and I just think, all you hear is how divided we are as a country.
Yeah.
It's just very sad.
How everyone hates everyone.
Everyone hates everyone, and I don't remember
like,
it feeling this bad ever before.
Yeah.
So you just, jewellery gives me positivity and can't do anything about the crisis of the world, so why not have lovely jewellery?
Yeah, I mean, I think jewellery's in a... And again, it's fashions as well, isn't it? I mean, there's times when... So when I was younger, I remember like I had a cross, I had a ring, I had a watch.
Yeah.
Like I don't wear any jewellery now.
Yeah.
I remember at the time, a lot of lads were, when I was at school even, getting ear piercings.
Yeah.
And obviously you won't get that many sort of... when I'm thinking of piercing, you're not going to have loads of antique nose piercing.
No, exactly. No. But yeah, it is a trend thing. Men's jewellery especially, because, when Peaky Blinders came out, everybody started wanting pocket watches or signet rings.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a die-hard kind of jewellery, like men who have always liked antique jewellery.
Yeah.
And that's great. But then there's obviously people that jump on the back of trends. Like, I don't watch Love Island, but on Love Island, all the men had like pearls on or something. Mm-hmm. So then that obviously sparks a trend. Yeah. But with women, it's kind of fairly consistent with antique jewellery. Obviously with modern jewellery, it is more abiding to the trends. So like there was a stage where Pandora bracelets were the big thing. And Pandora used to have a shop a couple of doors down from here. And that people would come in and like, do you sell Pandora charms? I'm like, 2 doors down.
Try the Pandora shop.
And it got to the point where it became like a bit of a running joke, an annoying running joke of like 2 doors down. So yeah, that, and I'm glad that I don't work in modern jewellery, because you constantly maybe having dead stock or having to buy new things in. antique jewellery is kind of fairly consistent of what... I mean, obviously there's things like Taylor Swift getting an antique engagement ring. So I've had people emailing me, can you get old mine cut diamonds? Because that's what her ring was, and things like that. But there's certain things that have always, certain pieces of antique jewellery that have always sort of been admired
Popular,
by people. Yeah.
So I'm actually really fascinated in the jewellery side of it. And it's, you know, having been in the shop just now and looking around at bits, it's like it's kind of instantly fascinating. And I think some of it is just getting someone through the door. But then there's also the thing of, you need to have something in everyone's price range, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, so that even if they just come in and they buy like, I don't know, maybe a pair of cufflinks or something, and then, or, you know, a little brooch or a cameo or something, and then there's the other stuff for people who have got more, can spend more, and like really want to go to town with it.
Yeah, and I think that's where we do fill a gap in antique jewellery shopping. Because we sell, I mean, we do sell modern things as well, but like vintage style. So we sell a pair of earrings for like 29 quid, up to big engagement rings for like thousands. So and lots between that as well, 100, 200, 300. So there is something for everybody. And there's so much to look at as well. I think maybe people get intimidated by having choice. If somebody, for example, could come in and say, oh, have you got any opal earrings? And you show them 25 pairs and they're like, oh, okay, and just don't get any, because people don't really like too much choice. You just show them two things.
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Pick that one or that one.
I mean, we've kind of said the same thing, haven't we? Going back to sort of picking careers of like being overwhelmed by that choice. And
so
it is like...
you just step away from it.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is, you know, I feel like there's something for everybody in the shop.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you don't think of the other bits of jewellery, like I mentioned cufflinks and sort of, you know, tie pins and things. And within antique jewellery as well, like bits of things that aren't made anymore. Yeah,
like ivory, coral. I mean, we don't have a lot of... much of that at all, if not any. But yeah, there's obviously things like that that aren't made anymore.
What about, do you sell a lot of cameos?
Yeah, cameos.
Yeah.
Cameo brooches and rings and things, they're still quite popular.
And what about jewelled hat pins or hair
we
pins?
Sell, no, we don't really do that, but we do stick pins, and they've just got like become really popular for some reason.
Stick pin then?
You put it in, you can put it in a tie or like a cravat. You can put it on a jumper. But they're really popular on Etsy actually. Just sold one yesterday, which haven't become, you know, we've had loads of them and nobody's ever looked at them, or maybe a few people during the year. And now all of a sudden they're having a bit of a renaissance, for want of a better word. But so stuff like that, I suppose, does maybe go on trends, because it can't be a coincidence that all of a sudden stick pins are popular.
Do you ever, so, you know, I've seen bits of your content, but do you ever do sort of videos of you modelling it, wearing it, or, you know?
Yeah, sometimes more static pictures, just because it's really hard to video myself.
Yeah.
And nobody else can kind of do it. You know, if I asked my partner to video me, he takes the worst pictures of me. So I don't even want to go down that road. My daughter would probably be better, and I think as she's got older, I will get her to do some more videos of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's lots of things. There's lots of different content that I could make of like, this is how to wear this, and I've got all of the ideas.
But then you've got to get it out.
Yeah.
You've got to get it up. You've got to make it, get it out, put it all other things, schedule it all, and that takes so much time.
That's the thing. I am such an ideas person. I'll be like, wake up in the middle of the night, like, there's so many ideas all the time about everything, and I start things and then I don't finish them. Got the best intentions.
I'm with you all the way. I mean, I spent most of August just, you know, head down, just like editing, ploughing through recordings that I've got. And it's like, it's annoying because it should be about the work.
Yeah.
But it's kind of not. It's about the marketing. It's like 70% of it really should be just marketing.
Totally. That's all, you know, it's a job in itself.
Yeah.
But people get paid in companies to do
Yeah.
marketing. And
Really, more of the team should be on the marketing than the sales.
Totally. I mean, one of my competitors, they've got like 15 people that work there, and I'm like comparing myself to them all the time. Oh, they've done this and it looks so good. There's 15 people that work for them. I'm just a one-woman band. Obviously, my mum, she works in the shop. She doesn't do anything behind the scenes, and I have to stop giving myself a hard time. I'm not going to put out 2 newsletters a week because I simply don't have the time to do it.
What about training? Do you make any time for training, or do you have any time for training?
Yes, I did an SEO course, 2-day course in June, which was amazing. And it's a course that I've done before 3 or 4 years ago. Obviously, things change very rapidly in digital marketing. And even with all the information that they gave me, like I did Google Ads and SEO, other things I can't remember, and MailChimp.
Yeah.
But even haven't had the time even since June to implement all of those changes. But it's, you know, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm all for any training that I can do, definitely. Did a photography course and constantly looking for expert advice on things of how I can be better. I mean, I'm not a professional photographer, but my pictures have progressed a lot from when I first started taking them off a kitchen table during COVID with a light from my iPhone and a really crappy camera. And I'm just like, why? How did I think that looked all right?
Yeah, but it's just putting stuff out there.
Yeah. And as I said, I'm not professional standards, but I've learned things along the way.
I think you're underselling yourself.
I'm constantly wanting to learn. I'm constantly wanting to learn new things of how I can be the best version of me doing X, Y, Z. And I think if someone else can do it, why can't I? Obviously, with things like photography or directing, you do have to have a natural talent for those things. You can't just learn from YouTube how to be a film director in a day. But certain things like SEO, you can learn.
Yeah.
And you can learn how to do it. But what's frustrating about the back end of SEO and back end of the website and everything, there's so much you can do with sort of, I don't know if you know much about SEO.
Little bits. I've got a book on it that I've not read.
There's certain things you can do on the website, like front and back end things.
Yeah.
But then to be fully optimized on Google, you need to have like a lot of backlinks, like good backlinks.
Yeah.
From reputable websites.
Yeah.
And that's basically like cold calling people, and I can't do...
But it's moving from that now, though, isn't it? Because Google doesn't even search stuff now, it's just AI stuff.
Yeah.
And like, that's
so
just about the amount of content that you've got, really.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just hoovering it all up. I mean, I think history is a big thing that's growing, and local history, and then the antique stuff. I mean, the other thing I think of is, because I'm stuck in this film world because you've mentioned doing the broadcast degree, is with local productions and so on, have you had any, because there's been a lot of filming in Yorkshire and around Leeds and various things going on, have you had any sort of celebrity endorsements? Have you been able to do any of that? Of like people that come in the shop and you're like, can I get a photo?
Yeah, we got one, I can't remember her name, Chrissy, from, what was that woman called, Mum?
Who?
That woman that came in that was on TV.
When did she come in?
Do you remember you got a photo with her outside?
She was from
This Is Us.
Okay.
And we got a photo.
Christy,
somebody. We got a photo of her outside anyway. I was like, Mum, yeah.
An actress,
Jo Hartley, she's been in This Is England and things like that. So my mum she said, oh, they're in the shop. I said, get a photo of them. And annoyingly, I didn't get a photo of Olivia Colman when she came in. No, really annoyed about that. But we've had Emmerdale people come in. But again, didn't get any photos of them. And if I was here and they came in, I'd be like, can I get a photo?
Yeah.
And another woman, a Hollywood actress who was in Baywatch, the film, I can't remember her name either, but she came, again, no photo. But yeah, that's what we need to do more of if they come in the shop.
Yeah.
Annoyingly, don't have any famous friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't.
But
really
Leeds is odd for that, though, because you just, like, people, you know, super famous people randomly turn up, don't they? And you're like,
Yeah.
what are you doing here?
I saw him, you know, Hannah Matsuki, he's got like a Japanese restaurant. But I think he had like a picture of Jack Black on like his Instagram, just like randomly went for some food.
Yeah.
Like, that's, I'd be
You're
amazed
like, you're the
if Jack
last
Black...
people that you expect
Yeah.
to be in Leeds.
Hannah Matsuri, that's what it's called, Hannah Matsuri. Anyway, but yeah, it'd be nice if more famous people came in. But I'd get it all over Instagram. They did.
So, do you do the thing that I'm going to move off this?
Yeah.
This will be the last question on this. Do you do? I'm basically going to ask you. Have you? Well, so I'll put it this way: do you do the thing where you have like the general content and then the star content of like this is the big hitter and then this is just the stuff that I put out on the regular?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, going back to the documentary side. Could you either reuse and repurpose some of the content you've already got to edit into a longer form thing? Or have you ever thought about doing a bit of a documentary of like the history of the store? And...
Yeah, I think that, yeah. I mean, as I said, in my head, I've got all these ideas of like doing like a history of the shop and more about like a long form video of like an interview with me or something like that. Or I kind of see myself doing like educational videos of...
Interview.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's your wealth of knowledge, but there's also that that knowledge.
Yeah. I mean, my mum doesn't remember a lot. Or making educational videos about type of jewellery. So, for example, like Egyptian revival jewellery or...
I mean, I'd love
enamel,
that. Like,
Norwegian enamel jewellery, something.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
fascinating.
yeah. If I had more time to do this kind of thing, and that's what the guy on the SEO course said. Actually, she said, "I think you'd be amazing at doing this." But it's because I don't really understand how to edit it. What's the best way of filming it? How do I add B-roll? You know, all the little things.
Break it down though. Keep it simple. Don't try and be too fancy, and you'll be amazed. Like if you keep it really simple and just let it build up. So if you work on each clip is like a scene, and then just build it up from there. Do you know what I mean? It says then start stitching it together, and then you can put it on your YouTube and use that, and then you can re-clip.
Yeah, and then I could put it in as put it in my blog, like embed it in my blog, and yeah, I think that's a great idea. But I feel like the technical side of it is quite overwhelming, and I have to be in that sort of frame of mind.
But you're already. You're
No,
already doing it. You're
comfortable
doing the website.
I know that, I know, but I kind of just feel like there's a barrier between myself and making that kind of content. I did do actually a short video trying out that sort of method about the history of eternity rings.
Right.
But I was like, it took me so many goes to say it properly. But then I kind of wanted to put like B-roll in there and make it into like a more of a long form video for YouTube. But I didn't know how to do it. I don't even know how to get like where I can. And I think, to be honest with you, what frightens me is the whole royalty thing of using B-roll. Like, it's somebody then like writing to me saying that you owe thousands of pounds in copyright.
Yeah, but if you use all your own assets, because you've got all that footage there. And the other thing as well is that, you know, the good thing about social media is it is kind of iterative. It is like you can just remake the same thing over and over again and get better and better at it. So you could kind of, you know, you can kind of go back to old stuff, because the other thing is nobody's seen it all. And it's that thing, like, it took me ages to kind of, because I'm making all the content, I think everybody's got the same continuity that I have. People are just seeing little bits, aren't they? And it's that sort of, it doesn't matter, just post a really old post it again, because it'll be shown to you, new people that have seen it before will just scroll past it, and people that haven't will maybe engage with it. So it's that sort of, but you don't want to keep repeating yourself. You want to be doing new stuff and being original and...
Yeah, but there's only a finite amount of original things that you can do before you start repeating it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something. I need to kind of like dedicate a week of just doing that sort of content. That's how I have to look at it.
I think as well is to look at it of you're already doing it, you know, not this sort of... I mean, you will improve anyway, like through practice. I mean, I'm telling myself this as much as anything else.
You will improve through practice.
Well, this is it. I am getting better. Like I am repeating myself, but I'm getting better at repeating myself, and hopefully, and it's that sort of thing of, you know, don't, you know, give yourself the credit for what you're already doing.
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Yeah.
But it's hard to not. It's hard to also not compare yourself to other people.
Yeah, you want to be better and you want to be getting
and you
more
want to be like, well, what if they can do it? Why can't I do it? Like, what tools do I need to do this?
Yeah, but you don't know if they're spending money on it or if they're...
This is it, yeah. They could be, I mean, even just like to have a good server or like a faster speed costs more money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
And it's getting people to share as well.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're getting people to share, then that boosts you up in the algorithm and like...
It's so dependent on so many factors. But all I can do, and I say this to my partner all the time, is I can only try my best. And that's what I do. You know, I have to give myself the credit that if all else fails, I really have tried my best at everything. You know, it's hard. I've got like a half a day pretty much after I've dropped the kids at school to then have to go pick them up. It's like it's not a full working day. And I have to fit so much into that time, as well as, you know, housework and everything else. And it's not like they come home from school and like let me go do my work. They're like, mummy. It's all, you know.
And it's hard to
just fitting it all in.
It's hard to justify making the time as well, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, it's like it's just posts sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel. And I don't know if you have this, but because they are addictive, I'm terrible at... I'll go onto like LinkedIn or Insta or something, and you go there for something specific, and before you know it, you've lost 10 minutes just going.
Oh, yeah, it's down the rabbit hole of nonsense. But also because I have to, by commenting on other people, say in the jewellery community, it takes time to do all of that commenting as well.
Yeah.
But it's like you know, it's like a round robin. Like
so it's part of driving the engagement.
Exactly, and those people then comment on you, drive the engagement up. So that takes time as well to go through it. Luckily, the algorithm has picked up that I like jewellery, and so most of the stuff the content that I see is jewellery related. I'm not sort of inundated with rubbish to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I can keep fairly on track if I try to.
Do people see? Do people seem to see the value of, you know, because a piece of jewellery can be an investment.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I've spent money on this thing and now it's not like other things that you buy. It's the kind of thing that keeps and it appreciates.
I totally appreciate it. And this is what I tell people all the time. You could buy a new diamond ring, and as soon as you walk out the shop, like a car, it loses its value. An antique ring, someone, say for example, if somebody came in here with a new modern diamond ring, wanting to sell it, we wouldn't want to buy it.
Yeah.
You can be sure if you try and sell an antique ring anywhere, somebody will want to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'll pay for it, but they're always going to be desirable, but always going to have age to them.
Yeah.
And as even more age as they appreciate in time. But they're a great investment. Gold is a great investment. It's so, you know, wish I'd have still kept some of my gold not melted it down years ago, because it's so high right now.
Yeah.
And this is the thing with like lab grown diamonds as well. I mean, number one, I wouldn't buy a modern diamond. Number two, I wouldn't buy a modern lab grown diamond.
Yeah.
They're just a waste of money. Obviously, people buy what they can afford and what they like, and that's absolutely fine. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd always buy antique stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just much more value to it, and just unique and has a story to tell within it.
And is, the value is already there inherent because it's been around for so long, and it's like
exactly.
this hasn't, it's kept its value and it's still valuable because someone bought this, they loved it, they passed it on. You know, it's been on a journey, and it's
Exactly.
been this piece that's like, you know, made in a different style, made in different ways and contexts.
And yeah, but in a different, and also in a different time when, I mean,
different fashions.
yeah,
like,
it's crazy to think of the people that the original owner of this 1920s ring would be living a totally different life to the person that's wearing it today.
Yeah.
And that journey is incredible, and you can't replicate that with new jewellery.
Yeah.
I was going to say something and I've just completely forgot my train of thought.
It'll come back to you. So I'm going to jump back to COVID.
Yeah.
So what I want to look at here is, I mean, feel free to talk about whatever you want. And obviously it's a long time, it's a complex area to talk about. People have all sorts of experiences. What I'm really interested in is your experience going into the lockdown, how that affected the work. Did it get really busy? Did it just stop? Did it stay the same?
Obviously, when we all heard that we had to shut the shops and everything else, you're kind of terrified by that prospect.
Yeah, like, what am I going to do?
Like,
how
the
am I gonna
shop
make
shut,
money?
how am I going to get any money?
Yeah.
Obviously, with the government loans and grants and whatever else. But that's when I really, I mean, I'm a quite pragmatic, proactive person. So I was like, right, what can I do? And it really gave me the push to start doing. We did, before that, the website was rubbish.
Yeah.
And we'd be taking photos down here in a light box. They just were terrible, without even a description. Just throwing them on the website. Obviously, yeah, not surprisingly, we didn't really do that much business on the website. And then I really wanted to, I thought, right, well, you have to pivot. And so I kind of put my the time and effort and wanted to learn how to do better on the website and improve. And that's what I did. And I think, you know, you have to sort of react positively in adverse situations of how you can do, instead of just going, oh no, the shop's shut, right, well, we just have to rely on the government's grants. And
Which didn't come for ages.
yeah. And we did, I remember somebody seeing something and then literally coming to my house in North Leeds and like buying it from our kitchen table. But I don't think that was like correct in COVID. I don't think it was allowed in those times.
Well, it was outside, I guess.
Who cares? I can't believe we're all compliant and everything, to be honest. It just seems such a dystopian fact to, what was it, a year or so?
But it was
just crazy.
I mean, it was over a year.
It was just nonsense.
And it kind of, it sort of opened up and then it didn't, and then it was like, but there was no consistency. There was no, like with everything, there was no like decision, no leadership.
No, and then the government was busy having parties and things like that.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous what we all did and what we're all compliant to. But it changed so many things. I think it changed the way people socialise and things like that. And I also think it had a massive...
Hardened people as well.
And people weren't wanting to go out the house. You know, we became really accustomed to staying in and not going
being
out.
Online more.
Yeah, and I think it was terrible. And you know, all the things when the funeral, you couldn't go to someone's funeral, and it just was awful. It added to a lot of people's loneliness already. Yeah. Also made things from the knock-on effect way more expensive, which I think we're still dealing with now with inflation and everything.
Yeah. Well, and also the rise in energy prices, which just matched with also, I mean, maybe doesn't affect you as much, but the rise in national insurance is like so many people with shops and so on.
Brexit, everything. Yeah. It's all had a really, really negative.
Everyone's taken a kick in.
Yeah, everybody, and everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
I went to the supermarket this morning and just like the price of cheese is like £3. I mean, just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm going off topic. So but on the flip side, the positive thing that came out of COVID was that it did change the way people bought things and people became more savvy. And I think they wanted more of a good customer experience of like a personal experience. They wanted more independent to buy from independent businesses. Like there was a big push in like hashtag shop small this Christmas and hashtag shop local.
Yeah, there was a huge indie push. I mean, there was a big push in Leeds before, but like through COVID, it
really rose, which is great.
But then where is it now?
Where is it now? Yeah. And I think everybody wants to buy from independent businesses, but at the end of the day, they just go home and they order something from Amazon because they can't be bothered and because it's easy.
Yeah.
And it takes it takes a minute to sort of stop buying that thing on Amazon and go to like a local shop and buy it. And it's just the brain having to rewire your brain into doing that.
Yeah, and it's the experience as well of like people forget. I mean, you think of going on shopping trips. You know, you don't buy something in every shop necessarily. You go around, you look around.
Yeah.
Like it's the experience of looking around and seeing what's out there. And you know, some places you go in and you just kind of buy something because you like the vibe of the shop.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, I want something as a little souvenir from this cute little shop.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, but it's getting people, like you say, to come out and...
But there's lots of things that make it hard to come into Leeds, like the town planning, the transport, the parking charges, the loop of Leeds city centre.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, if you don't need to go in, you don't. And also, you know, with the shop, lots of shops shutting, and it's kind of feels a bit hostile.
I mean, go on, sorry.
But it's a knock-on effect. You need the people to make the shops, you need the shops to make the people. So it's kind of twofold, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's confidence as well, and that confidence isn't there. Because there is, you know, like lots of people have said, there was a lot of money that was given out during COVID, and that money's gone somewhere.
Yeah.
And I know I've read a lot of stuff about how a lot of sort of SMEs are kind of sitting on cash because they don't have the confidence to spend because they don't know what's going to happen.
It's uncertainty.
Yeah.
Totally. Who knows? Because you know, you see small businesses shut all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've made it through a recession, through COVID, through you know,
well, several recessions.
Several recessions. Yeah. And touch wood, we're still here and still keep going. But I think because we are a niche shop and we're not selling things for like £3, you need to sell a lot of things for £3 to pay the rent. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there was a sweet shop across the road, across the arcade. Things like that, they have to sell a hell of a lot of sweets.
Yeah.
To make it work.
Yeah.
Whereas if we sell one thing that's worth a couple of grand, then that's great.
Yeah.
But it's a different, you know.
But you're not going to sell them all the time.
No,
either,
we're not going to sell them
like,
all the time. But
if you sell one of those, then
that's what makes us be able to kind of keep trading, definitely. And also, because people do like antique jewellery, there's definitely been a big sort of resurgence in antique jewellery.
I mean, there's a big luxury market. Do you try and push onto any of that? Do you? I mean, because I'm thinking of the races, like you doing a video at the races and sort of like doing one of those annoying kind of stopping people vox pops things of like, what jewellery are you having? Do you have any sort of antique pieces or anything? Like what kind of antique things would you like? It doesn't have to be the race, but like an event where there's something prestigious.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because there's definitely, because it is that because people don't make the connections, do they? You have to join the dots for them. You have to like grab them by the hand and go, look at this, and this links to this, and that's good. You like this, don't you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you do spoon feed them.
But that's because we're getting so many messages and being pulled in so many directions as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think, you know, you have to also know your lane and stay in your lane. Because I can't compete with Beaverbrooks or Berries because that's not our lane.
Yeah.
We're not like H. Samuel either because, you know, so yeah.
Well, you don't have access to that kind of capital.
No, totally. Yeah. You have to know your brand and stay on brand and not try and play with the big guns and whatever.
Yeah.
Like I look at their website and they're totally polished pictures. I'm like, oh, my pictures. But they're all like massively photoshopped and really, like, they have obviously
They've spent money on it.
spent a lot of money on it, but they have that special look, and that isn't the look that I'm particularly going for.
No.
It's just because it looks really polished and uniform that I kind of
But
like.
it wouldn't be authentic either.
It won't be
wouldn't suit-
authentic,
yeah.
and that's what I mean. I have to accept that, like, the way I'm trying to sort of create a brand that feels authentic and that I can feel like, you know, have integrity, and not sort of pay somebody to really make these rings look like they do on Beaverbrook's website.
Yeah.
I don't
With
have the money to
lens
do
flares
that. Yeah,
and, like,
exactly.
yeah,
And
sparkling
it just
and-
wouldn't feel right.
Spinning round. Why are they always spinning round? Oh, look at it spin around.
But like, just even looking at the website, it's like, oh, well, I can't. I don't have the money to have a website like that. But I do the best that I can do.
Yeah.
With what money? Little money. We have like literally no marketing budgets.
Yeah, but it's you
Yeah.
doing as much as you can.
Yeah.
Whenever you can. So I'll move us on to, we've mentioned Brexit. I'll do Brexit next. So has anything changed for you work-wise since Brexit? I mean, I suppose it's, again, hard to pull apart because it was around about the same time as COVID and so on.
The only thing that I can think of is sort of like postage to, or like, I think before Brexit, no, because it was the same sort of time.
Were you sort of selling stuff internationally?
Yeah,
with the
I think,
website
but that was more. That was probably a little bit after Brexit.
Yeah.
But it just makes it just obviously adds a hurdle for somebody because they have to pay tax and everything.
Friction, as they would say.
Friction, yeah, exactly. Whereas before we could send something internationally to Europe, wouldn't cost as much, and now it's just more friction between them making a purchase. So, and now with the US tariffs as well, which that's another bit of friction. Use that word.
Well, yeah, because I mean, I can imagine a circumstance where, say, you know, going back to having a celebrity or whatever, you get someone that comes in the shop, they really like a piece, they buy something, they really love it, and they remember the shop, and they're like, I want to order something from there, and then it's just made a little bit more complicated of getting that.
Yeah, but before, like 2 weeks ago, you could send an antique ring to America, but that was like under $800 for free. So now you have to pay 10% flat rate.
Tariffs,
Yeah, and then on top of that, I think you can still, I don't think I think it's 0% on antique stuff, but anything like after 100 years old, less than 100 years old, should I say, is like another 10%. So that's like 20%. And a lot of companies, because I've been looking at, we don't really have that many American customers. Some of our competitors have like 80% is from America, which would be a big hit.
Yeah.
A lot of them have said, right, we're going to pay the tariffs.
Yeah.
So that's, again, it's hitting your profit margin.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they're doing it. Are they putting their prices up?
Well, that's
they probably
it.
are, but then the whole of the rest of the world suffers from it.
Yeah.
And then you don't want to outprice yourself.
Well, that's another thing as well, going back to, so what are we talking? I think like 22, 23, and just having a lot of conversations with people, because again, the energy price is shooting up, and it's like, when do you put your prices up, and how much do you put it up by, and like how often are you going to do that, and how, like, because loads of people are sort of holding off as long as they can, because they're like, I'm
But
going
you
to
still wanna
absorb
make
these
sales.
Yeah, but it's like, I have to absorb these costs.
Yeah.
To try and keep my customer base, because if I keep putting the prices up, I'm going to drive them away, because they're like, they feel like they're being ripped off, because
Yeah, but we price our things like, obviously when we say a pair of gold earrings that a modern pair that we had a year ago, we've sold them, and then another pair comes in and they're like twice the price of them. So we have to obviously price that accordingly.
Yeah.
But that's like the rising price of gold. If you take the other hit of like, it's anything new that we buy is going to be more.
Yeah.
But I think everything's just gone up, hasn't it? Like you can't go anywhere. Kids' ice creams, like a tenner if you want to buy two ice creams.
Everything's at least doubled in price.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, you know, like you say, rising price of gold, but I know, like, coffee and
Coffee,
and
I mean,
chocolate is
is
quadrupled
ridiculous.
in price.
And I, buy a coffee, even if you you buy from Costa or you buy from an independent thing, it's still, for a flat white, you're still talking minimum £3.50.
Yeah.
Even from an independent.
And they're already absorbing the cost of the commodity going up to a degree, so their margins have dropped.
Yeah, totally. But you pay, I need coffee, so I pay
that's
it.
it, and it's like...
and then by the end of it, I've spent £100 this month on coffee.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
I try and not buy as many as I used to do, but, you know, waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning every morning and then having no night's sleep because my little girl still sleeps in her bed.
The whole economy, like, I was going to have a question in here about drugs, including tea and coffee, because so much of the economy runs on caffeine and runs on sugar, and as well, alcohol is such a big part of work. Like, you think back to the, parts of the 20th century of like so much work was done in pubs and people would finish early on a Friday.
Yeah, and that's why I went to work in the estate agent. I wanted after work drinks on Friday to wear a suit. Oh yeah, it was a big thing. Yeah. But now nobody really even goes out to drink. I hardly drink, and if I do, it's a bottle of wine at home, like once every fortnight or something.
Yeah.
But, and I don't really go out, but if you went out, I don't know how anybody affords it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a wine would even cost in a place, in a pub or a bar. That's how long I have been out for.
I mean, it depends where you go, but I've been in places where it's knocking on for a tenner for a glass of wine.
Just ridiculous.
Like,
I just don't understand how anyone affords it. And then, but the hospitality industry, that's taken a massive hit.
Yeah. And as well, someone was saying on one of the interviews of, that because you had that cohort of people through lockdown who were students who were just kind of locked in and didn't get the experience of going out and and socializing and drinking and so on.
Yeah.
That it's not part of their behavior. So you've lost like a big chunk of people who are just like, they're not going to do that
because they're not used to that life. Yeah. So but whereas when I was a student, God.
Oh God, yeah.
Can't imagine not drinking.
Sozzled.
Yeah, that's why I had no idea what was going on in broadcast journalism. Permanently hungover.
So climate change, I think, will be a quick one. It's not good. I mean, you're a local shop. You're a family business. You're generally, I would say, I guess most of your stock is coming from the UK or from the local area.
Yeah.
You're selling mostly to, I mean, we've talked about shipping internationally, but you're selling mostly locally.
95%, probably more, is selling within the country, definitely.
I mean, I would guess that you will get sort of regular customers from Leeds, but I think a big part of it will be people that come into Leeds shopping as well for weekends and so on.
Definitely. Yeah, from surrounding areas. Yeah. And if they've seen something online, they might drive up or down or whatever to come and have a look. Because that is the beauty of having both elements, the website and the shop. Yeah. Is that there is somewhere to come and try a ring on. I mean, I can understand why people want to see jewellery for themselves. So I think it works. It's dual in it, it has to have it's both elements.
Yeah, it's desirable, but it's also the tactile element of like...
Yeah, and trying something on. It's not like you buy a skirt from, I don't know, Shein or whatever. Yeah. And it's only going to cost a tenner and you might send it back. It's a big purchase, a lot of our jewellery. So we obviously do free returns and things like that, but people do like to still try it on before they make the purchase.
Well, you've got to see it. It's like buying a hat, isn't it? You don't want to buy a hat unseen. If the hat fits, it's like you have to. Yeah. Does this suit me?
Totally.
It looks great there in the cabinet. That's a really interesting piece.
Yeah.
And if it's something functional, you take it out and you're like, actually, it doesn't work for me. Let's maybe try this one. And I love it. It's beautiful, but it doesn't quite.
Especially for an engagement ring that you literally have to wear every day. Yeah. You want it to be right, don't you? And it is a big purchase. So we do need the shop to run to coincide with the website.
Yeah, you need the physical presence. Yeah. So
complement it with
do you kind of market on, because really you're quite a sustainable business.
Yeah.
it's not based on lots of new production.
No, exactly.
It's reuse. It's,
Yeah.
you know, and there's kind of an upcycling
Yeah.
level to it.
And that's become really popular.
Yeah.
Well, for before COVID, but again, a lot of people became like really honed in on it after COVID. They
Yeah.
wanted more
And it's
sustainable.
not disposable. You're not going to buy a piece of antique jewellery and then bin it.
No, God, no. Yeah, I think people really want slow fashion, slow jewellery, things that have been well made that will last. I know that I'm sick of buying cheap clothes from Shein or anywhere
Yeah,
else.
anything online
Things like that.
yeah.
Temu, because it's a false economy.
Yeah.
You're going to wear them once and then they're gonna not be any good to you. Plus the sort of moral aspect of the people, like the people that work in the sweatshops and everything else.
And also the scale at which they produce, and it's just like most of that is going to landfill.
Yeah, exactly. So people want things to last,
And it's
whether that's
plastic,
jewellery
and you're working in, I mean, sort of metallurgy is one of the oldest human activities of like, and also one of the foundational parts of civilization. Like you go into a museum and you go and you look at like even sort of, I mean, well, Bronze Age, Iron Age, like, you know, it's as ancient as civilization.
Yeah.
Like humans have always made things and decorative things.
It's amazing when you look at the history of jewellery from like Roman times and things like that, and their like betrothal rings.
And it's such a social signifier as well.
Oh, totally. As soon as I meet somebody, I'm like, I've actually only got my earrings in. I was in a bit of a rush to leave the house. But as soon as I see somebody, I'm clocking the jewellery, and it does say so much about somebody, what jewellery that they're wearing.
Yeah. If you've got something that's kind of, it looks flash, but it's actually cheap and tacky, and you're kind of like, yeah, I see you.
Yeah, or like rings, and it's definitely a
and then
social
occasionally
signifier.
someone will have something that's just like, oh, that's a really nice piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did you get
Yeah,
that? What's the
totally.
story behind it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fascinating, really, when you sort of get into it. It's just...
Yeah, because it's much more than just...
it's more than a shiny thing that
Totally,
you kind of
yeah.
putting
There's
on.
so much more to it than that, especially with the antique stuff. They're like little stories in a decorative item.
And so very human, you know, like pretty much any society will have some form of, whether
even
it's
tribes
made out of shells or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just going to check the time, see how we're doing. So, the next question is the change question. So, this can be hard sometimes, but you can be really pragmatic. You can be like, we need a new, you know, light, or or you can be like, I want 55 Aladdin's caves all around the world, and like whatever you want. So if you could change any three things about your work, what would you change?
I'd like to have more money to spend on the website and technical things. And and this is a really boring answer, but I want the speed of my website to be a lot faster. That's what I'm working on at the moment with my tech guy. What else? I want to do more sourcing, go to far off places. I just want to be able to have the time to go around the world looking for jewellery. And because I think if you've got nice pieces, people will want them.
Do you make any content that's sort of aimed towards other jewellers? Of like, do you do anything that's like, you know, you do a story piece and then you're like, what have you got? What's the most exciting piece you've got in your inventory, or that kind of thing where you're trying to engage?
Yeah, so we do like stories. Somebody might tag me, your jewellery of the day, and then I'll do a picture and then tag 5 profiles.
Do you do anything with, because obviously within the arcade you've got, and a lot of the arcades, I mean, even with Harvey Nixon stuff, you've got a lot of, obviously there's the whole textile tradition in Leeds, and there's the, you know, the tailoring and so on. So any kind of complementary stuff with other...
Yeah, this is what I'll also want to concentrate on. I was thinking about, I don't do anything like that, but I want, what with like the independent businesses, I wanted to kind of form more of a community. And I wanted to sort of do a blog post concentrating on like, so more on the website about being Leeds focused.
Yeah.
So driving people to Leeds, so doing a blog, say for one week on one independent business in Leeds. This again, all my ideas, never put into fruition. And so being more of a kind of like Leeds guide as well on the website. But yeah, that will just take a bit of time.
Do you poll anyone in your post? Do you ever do a sort of, do you like this story? Would you like to see more of this, or would you like to see something else?
Sometimes.
Does anybody engage though?
Not particularly with the polls, but if I say which ring would you prefer, pick a jewellery era, and people do actually respond quite well to that. So yeah, people do like the questions. What would you choose? But I've only done a couple of polls because I just feel like the engagement is better if they actually answer in the comments.
Well, yeah, it's. I've tried some where you sort of ask a question and then you get nothing.
Yeah, like tumbleweed. that has happened to me as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just take a bit of time to kind of kickstart. So I made this reel, it took me quite a long time actually here, like which jewellery area would you choose? And it just like didn't take off. And then all of a sudden it's got about like 35,000 views on Instagram. And then I did a trial reel as well. I don't know if you know about trial reels.
No.
So you can trial out. So you can make a reel. Basically, you could post exactly the same reel or change something. What's it called? A/B testing, and change that one thing. And you set it to trial reels. So it's not shown to any of your followers. It's shown to random people.
Right.
So I just changed one word, like pick a jewellery era, or pick what ring would you choose or something. I actually got around the same amount of likes. But one that I did, it was 2 rings that look identical, but one's modern and one's old. And I said, let me show you why you should be choosing an antique ring. And it was like half the price. My normal reel got about 75,000 views. And the one that I set to trials got 500,000 views.
Wow.
Then a lot of weird answers. the claw answer, and yes, because people clever answers that you just think, do you know what? This is light entertainment. I'm not asking you to reinvent the wheel. Just But when you get to 500,000, you think you're going to get some facetious answers. So yeah, but it's interesting to see how the algorithm by the trialing affects it.
Yeah. So what else would you change?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. What did I say? The website speed and just putting more money into that.
Yeah.
Being able to source more.
Yeah.
And having more time.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say time. But it's a big factor.
Honestly, I actually love working. I would work all day, every day if I could. I really, really, really love it. I'm annoyed when I have to leave to go to the school run because there's so much more that I can do. But I need to have the flow. If I'm stopping and starting, just doing 5 minutes here and there, I need to have proper focus. And I just shut myself in a dark room, but in a room where I can't hear anything.
No distractions.
No distractions, and really knuckle down. And that way I'm at my most productive.
I mean, how do you sort of, I mean, if you were to graph it, are you, you start strong in the morning and then
I'm a morning person, definitely.
So would it be is it like getting up earlier and earlier?
Well, that's it. I've kind of woken up a few times at like 5 a.m, not being able to get back to sleep. So I'll go downstairs and write a blog, and it's like the best time of day for me. Nobody's awake. Yeah. Can just sit there and and that's probably when I'm at my most creative.
Yeah.
But I need more time, and my partner doesn't really like me work. If we're doing family stuff, obviously I wouldn't want somebody working and not being present. And I have to appreciate the moment that I have with kids, because they're going to be old and they won't even want to know me soon. So I have to also appreciate the time with them. Yeah. But they all joke that I'm going into my own world and just like want to just work.
So one of the things that I'm I'm big on because I'm big on climate stuff, and I think we're all working too much, and I think that we underestimate rest and how productive rest can be,
Yeah.
like stepping away from stuff. And I think you've got to build breaks in and stuff, as demonstrated by me not being able to walk for a week because of too much work. But the sort of the historical thing of how people used to work is kind of fast, slow, fast, slow. So you do a big long day with loads of stuff. You working furiously, and then you do a slow day where you do less stuff.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the more productive, right? Because the thing I always compare it to is, if you've got a machine with a gauge on it, and you've got it goes up to there to green, and then it goes into red.
Yeah.
And we've got into this thing where everybody's running on red all the time.
Yeah. No, you don't want to burn yourself out.
And then that's it. And it's just you just wear out the machine, you break it, and ultimately you lose the value from it. And it's like you need to run it in the green.
Yeah.
And you need to let it rest as well.
Totally. And I think because of my partner and my kids, I have that rest time. But I think without them, I probably wouldn't. But I'm really into going to the gym and training. And that's, to me, is like the reset
Time
for
to
the
think.
hour where I'm not thinking about work. I'm literally in the zone, lifting weights. And that's my happy place as well. And then I can come back and do my work or spend time with the kids. But I do need to have 5 probably solid hours of where I'm working without a break, because that I can't, if I'm stopping and starting, I just lose my focus.
Yeah.
And
also that's
focused.
when you kind of get into that zone where you're lost in it. And if you are a bit ADHD as well, you kind of like, okay, now I'm doing this and nothing else exists.
Yeah, but then I will not do it anymore for the evening.
Yeah.
So I'll do like 5 hours solid, not even stop for lunch break or anything.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to the gym, and then I'll pick the kids up, and then I won't do anything.
Yeah.
I'd like to do more, but I do have that off switch as well, luckily.
That's good.
Because I kind of had to.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we've got to a point where people forget to eat, like I do it.
Oh no, I never forget to eat. I'll have something to eat, but I'll have it at my desk probably. Always thinking about food. Yeah, no, I'd love to be one of those people that forgets to eat.
Oh no, it's not good, because you just end up being like really angry about stuff.
Yeah, without
like,
realising,
why am I angry about everything?
because I've not eaten in 2 days.
So the final question
Yeah.
is on UBI, Universal Basic Income. Have you heard of this before?
Universal basic, like the basic rate of pay.
So it's like a citizen's income. So it's basically a stipend so it's like a benefit, but everybody gets it.
That's what the government are going to thinking about doing.
Well, no, they're not discussing it. Like no one's discussing it seriously, as far as I've seen. There has been lots of trials of it, but it's a floor on payments, which I quite often say pavement. A dyslexic brain. Floor on payments. So there's like a benchmark. And the important thing is that it's a regular payment. So it doesn't necessarily have to be huge. It's just that everybody's getting it, and they get it on a regular basis. So you find that even, if someone that's homeless, they can depend on a regular payment of something. They can start to plan something with that.
Right.
So, I'm kind of biased in your answer here. But so if there was so maybe even like you think of it like furlough or like a pension or something.
Yeah.
So if there was a regular payment that gave you a kind of grounding, would that make a difference to you, or would it not really affect you? Would it change anything in terms of how you work? Would you take more time off, for example, or would you spend some of that on marketing budget?
Yeah, I mean, it would probably go more towards the greater good of the work. Rather than spending it on myself or something like that.
Yeah, go into the business.
I wish my job was more lucrative because I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And I do it more to build and build and build rather than see the fruits of my labour.
Yeah, you don't want it to buy more things. You want it to...
I need to be earned, for the business to be earning more on a yearly basis than me.
Yeah.
Because it obviously
You've old school mentality of investing in
Yeah,
your business and thinking about
exactly.
rather than just extracting all of the value from it. And
So for personally, yeah, I would use it for the business. But I think my partner was telling me about that when, not if, but when all the robots take everybody's jobs, that we are going to be they're going to roll out the, what is it called?
UBI.
Yeah, because no one's going to
Well,
have
that's
any
it.
money.
Yeah, because if no one's getting paid and robots can't buy anything,
Yeah,
so,
so it probably might happen.
unless it's just fictitious capital moving between robots, like
I don't know. It's a bleak future, is all I know.
Well, that's what the media are telling us. But then there is, going outside and touching grass. And
No, and I love. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm a positive. I'm a cynical optimist, is what I
Yeah.
like to call myself. I just obviously see all these things that are happening so fast with technology.
Yeah.
But also, we are human beings, and we have that to our advantage.
I think there is a bit of a pushback to it as well. I think
Yeah,
people
I
are kind of
think we-
getting sick of a lot of things.
And also, if you think back to any time in history where we look at the future and we see,
Yeah.
like Back to the Future 2 or 1984,
Yeah.
it's always kind of had a lot of negative.
We take the worst of now and
We talk-
project
yeah,
it. We never
exactly.
take the best of now and project
Or even like the Y2K, millennium bug.
Yeah.
All these things were meant to scaremonger us. But we do see how, I mean, the rise in what robots can actually do now, and it is crazy.
Yeah.
So if you are already kind of a bit sort of into sort of sci-fi futuristic versions of the future, coupled with what you're actually seeing on like YouTube of like what these robots can do, it is kind of a little bit scary. But at the same time, it's good to be grounded and know
But there's
that
also-
hopefully we'll make
Yeah.
the right decision.
But it's confirmation bias as well, isn't it? It's because you've watched Terminator. When you see the thing,
Yeah, when you see what they
the
can
robot
do,
walking around,
yeah.
and then you're like, why have you made a Terminator?
Yeah.
And then
It's getting into the wrong hands, and because there's no sort of ethical guidelines
Or regs.
at all.
Yeah.
That is what is the scary element of it. And we're all sort of blindly going into the future, rising costs of anything, a divisive country, robots. But I still have a smile on my face.
Well, yeah, and like the thing is that nobody saw COVID coming.
No.
And that's not necessarily like, oh, that was a great thing, but a lot of people had a good COVID. A lot of people did.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone went through everything over that period of time. But the other thing as well is like nobody saw the collapse of the Berlin Wall coming. Like things just happen sometimes that just like.
Yeah, and then we deal with them
Yeah.
because that's what we're
And they're
built
not
to
always
do.
they're not always bad.
No, they can
sometimes
be-
good things do happen.
Yeah, and it can be cathartic or a catalyst or anything,
Yeah.
like we need something sometimes to make us better, to make us progress. For example, if COVID hadn't happened, I might not have done the website, but as humans, I think we're able, even if we don't think that we are, we're able to deal with those adverse situations
And we
when they
adapt.
come. We adapt. Yeah.
Yeah, and things become normal very quickly, and it's the sort of the worry that all the bad stuff becomes normal. But also, I mean, if you think of people get bored of being miserable all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we won't put up with it. Like, because we're made to sing and dance and have joy.
Totally. And that's what people need to do is get out into the nature, as you were saying, touch the grass and go. Like, I love, like,
And
I
join
live in
together
like,
and sing. And
yeah, I live in like a semi-rural village and we live just like by a river. It's got like a little pebble beach and it just like standing at the edge and just looking at the river.
Yeah.
And that to me is like really grounding and like, look, it's not all bad.
Yeah.
Like we've got these, the UK is beautiful when the sun's shining.
But this is it. Life isn't about this nonsense. The black box of doom in our hands. It's like sitting under a tree and like just
I mean,
looking at the clouds and breathing in the air.
breathe, yeah, and being like in meditative thoughts and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in the 90s where we only had phones at the end of the 90s. But we used to go out and nothing was documented on social media. We used to have a great time.
Yeah.
How kids are now is worrying, and even.
But we've done that to them.
Yeah,
as well.
they've had no choice.
Yeah.
That they've grown up in society.
But then we blame them. It's like,
get off your phone, yeah.
And I say this a load of like, you'll see adults who will be on their phone, ignoring their child,
totally,
and going, "Oh, the kids today, they're all on TikTok," and it's like, "What are you doing?" Like this total lack of self-awareness. It's like, we need to start.
Yeah, just being in the moment.
Yeah, paying attention to ourselves.
Yeah, like I'm going away next week for our family holiday, and I'm not going to do any work. I might do it occasionally, which will take me 5 minutes, but I'm going to purposely appreciate every minute of it and and enjoy the time with my kids.
Which is also, like we say, going back to the 90s of like, wasting time is time well spent.
Yeah.
Like,
I love just staring into space.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, if I can help it, I don't. That's why I kind of hate how my partner just doom scrolls on Twitter. I can't look at if I look at my phone. I'll check maybe my messages. I won't start scrolling as soon as I open my eyes. I just can't do that, and I'm not. If I don't need to be on my phone, then I won't.
Yeah.
I find it quite suffocating.
But it's like I mean, the similarities to cigarettes to me is like more and more striking with the phones. Like, I'm a smoker, and I've not had, so I've been on the nicotine gum for 4 days. I haven't had a cigarette for 4 days.
Well done, that's really good.
It's quite good. And,
Yeah,
and it's been
great,
that hard.
But yeah.
I've had moments where I'm like, ugh. But also the last week where I have been laid up and I couldn't walk, and I couldn't touch work, has like different thoughts in my head. You know, like new thoughts and new ways of thinking about like it's given me that mental space of like, okay, I've been bored. And I think we miss boredom as well. I think like boredom has value.
Yeah.
Like I remember being so bored in the 80s and 90s, like so bored. And you know, you'd say to your parents like, "Oh, I'm bored," and they'd say something stupid like
"Go and
tidy
do
room."
anything.
Yeah.
But my eldest still says that I'm bored. I'm like, "You've got so." I said, "I'd love to be bored right now. I've got so much to do. I just love to sit there and be bored." And I never, you know, I'm always doing stuff. And I loved, as I said, I just love sitting, staring into space. My eldest was doing her homework last night, and she was using my phone, so I couldn't go on my phone if I wanted to. And I just sat on the sofa, looked out in the garden. We've got these like little lights that go around the garden. I just sat there and was like, this looks so nice. And for like half an hour, and it was great.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be on my phone, don't want to be running about doing housework and stuff. It's just great to take that moment.
Yeah.
And
Just
really
watch
appreciate
the
it.
wind blow through the trees.
I love all of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think as well the night sky is so important and so underestimated. You know, you've got the light pollution and so on, but you can still see stars. And just going outside and just seeing the stars and just going...
It's amazing. It really puts...
Oh, yeah.
Makes you feel grounded.
This universe is billions of years old, and that's millions of light years away.
And we can't even grasp how tiny we are and insignificant in it all. Our social media and all of that and phones don't really matter at all.
No.
And you need to kind of keep a handle of that, because there's some people that their lives, like influencers, their lives are so immersed in social media. They can't do anything without taking loads of pictures, and everything's documented, and it's
so
exhausting.
Vapid.
And also has no shelf life to it as well. Yeah. You might have hundreds of thousands of followers one day, but again, what difference does it make to your life? And what tomorrow the whole landscape of it might change.
Yeah.
We've got no idea. Instagram might shut down, and then what are you going to do?
The power, power goes out. All of it gets switched off, or a government kill switch.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and it's just like gone, and then it's like, well, what do you do now?
Totally. But so many people, young people, my age people, they were all so it's like this buzz that they get, the validation. I don't have a personal social media account. Like, why? I don't need to be validated. Also, I spend enough time doing my business one. But I don't get why, I've got 50 likes on a picture of me, selfie. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't make you a better person. And I do it purely for the marketing aspect of my work. And it's sort of, you know, as I said, a double-edged sword of it working, but also being kind of annoying that you have to comply to all these new trends. And
but then you do, you know, like you said, you do enjoy it, and you are like, you get something out of it, and it is rewarding, and it's like, so it's that. And as well, you're supposed to kind of hate your work a bit. You know, you're like, this is why you get paid for it. Like, if it was just fun, you would have to pay to do it.
That's how the world works.
Yeah. So that's all my questions. I'm going to give you a bit of space at the end here to talk about anything that you might want to talk about that you haven't had a chance to talk about. But while you think of that, I'm going to ask you, where can people find you and the shop? Obviously, the shop is in Queens Arcade in Leeds, which is one of the beautiful old Victorian arcades.
Yep.
What's the website? Where are your socials?
So you can find us at Aladdin's Cave Leeds on Instagram. I think it's the same on Facebook. And it's aladdinscavejewellery.co.uk.
Excellent. I'll put all the links in the show notes as usual. Is there anything else that you want to chat about? Anything you want to rant about? Or have
you don't want to hear me ranting. I definitely have to edit that out. So I think I can't think of anything else.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I mean, it's great. I've never been in this shop before. I've passed it, and you know, it's a great little shop, and I recommend everyone coming down. And
thank you.
There's some really nice pieces just from my glance around what was
we've
there.
got a lot in the shop. It's an Aladdin's Cave.
Yeah, and if anyone's got any sort of, if anyone's like me, where they're a bit into Art Deco stuff and sort of antique stuff, then come down and have a look. Great. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you again to Jessica for being my guest. Thanks as always to all my guests, and thank you to you, Leeds, for being my subject. You can find Aladdin's Cave at instagram.com/Aladdin's Cave Leeds, facebook.com/Aladdin's Cave Leeds, and the website www.aladdin'scavejewellery.co.uk. And I suggest you check those out and check the shop out. It's a great little shop. If you do Christmas, can afford Christmas, and have people to do Christmas with, then go spend some money on this and many other fine indie Leeds businesses during this year's premium buying period. Ho, ho, ho. This is the last episode of this year, matey. The remaining recordings will be published in January next year, and I'll try and get those last few free recordings done as soon as possible in the new year. So do feel free to book your interview slot in from January onwards. If you'd like to book your free interview with bonus podcast episode all about you, or you want to contact me about anything regarding this show, then you can email me at workinghourspod@western-studios.com. Details of the new charges for the new Working Hours episodes will also be revealed next year. Keep your eye out for November's top 10 on the socials, and I'll be doing a Christmas number 1 reveal this year as well. Okay, that's me. Remember, listener, no matter what you do, it's impossible for you to understand anything. Your salary depends on you not understanding. So try to work for peace and try to plan with kindness. Raise your voice, but reduce your impact. Cheers, ears. Take care out there. And be kind to one another, Leeds. Working Hours is produced, recorded, edited, created and published by Simon Treen for Western Studios Leeds Limited. The music was The Bees from Chopin's Etudes, which is in the public domain and was taken from museopen.org. Remember, Western Studios Leeds Limited when you're ready to start making your content in West Yorkshire. Follow Western Studios Leeds on Facebook, facebook.com/Western_Studios_Leeds, and on LinkedIn. linkedin.com/company/western-studios. Bookmark western-studios.com so you can see the latest prices and use my contact page to drop me a message about your own podcast project or working hours at any time from anywhere. Maybe you want or need a podcast host, co-host or narrator for your podcast project. Maybe you just need another voice for one or more episodes of your show. Podcasts are so much more than gossip, book promotions, and marketing for online courses. Podcasts and other audio content get your online brand out there. Want to make some fundraising case studies? Want to have an audiobook or video course? Want to share your learning, knowledge, and expertise in your field? Want to learn, teach, or raise awareness of something general or particular? Want to improve internal comms with messages your staff might actually engage with? Or do you just want to brighten up the world with some entertaining content? Then make a podcast. If you're making your podcast within West Yorkshire, then think about making it with western-studios.com. Whatever your podcast questions or needs, get in touch with Western Studios Leeds.